Hey guys, this is yet another run on the Anachronistic Protector Raid event. This run is going to be yet another showcase of the Celes Solo run. Although this stage is pretty simple in a full 3-man party, the Celes Solo run is actually much more tricky, mainly because of the Kraken Stance at the start of the fight and later on at 49%. This is why I actually use a Selphie Friend, so I guess if you're being very technical about it, it's not a true solo run. But it is extremely tricky to navigate the start of the fight where you don't have the BT aura nor force time, and the boss is actually dumping 17,000 brave lasers onto you every single turn, which kinda hurts even with Celes's HP damage reduction in play. So because of that, I use the Selphie Friend Support and spam 4 raptures at the start. As you can see, using Rapture greatly increases the force gauge, and that's because this is a solo run. And likewise here, when Celes takes a turn, the force gauge also charges extremely quickly as well. One very important note here, you do need to break the bosses out of turn order so that Celes can act after they get a single turn in. Since I'm about to hit a full force gauge, this is where I go into BT mode so I can get my BT aura up. You want to try to actually go into force time before the bosses hit 100% force gauge, because if they do so, you will have to eat a Meteor+++, which not only brings down your HP but it also batteries boss B as well, and makes it extremely difficult to tank the laser attack that will come after this. So by going into BT mode here, you can win the force gauge charging race with the enemies. Anyway, while Celes is going through the remainder of a BT mode, I have to say that this run is still a little bit sloppy on my side. It may be even possible to win in one force time, but I ended up using my force time when the bosses are around 5% HP or so it's actually pretty close. But it also goes to show that it may even be possible to win this stage with the same strategy even without a 505 ultimate weapon on Celes, because you can just use the second force time to chunk through any remainder HP that the bosses have. That being said, on a Celes solo run, the call ability that you equip and the timing of which you use the abilities are extremely important. Quick pause here. At this point, the bosses are about to take their first turn, but as you can see, I very nicely hit a 100% force gauge. Before going to force time, I use the Gladio base call. The base call actually does have a little bit of HP damage reduction in as well, so I use that and then I use the force attack to enter force time. I was sort of debating a little bit because I was worried that the Gladio base call will let them hit 100%, but you can see they come close but not quite there yet, and I quickly go into force time right here. Anyway, coming back to what I was saying, it is a Celes solo run on this stage. You do need to keep a very close eye on the enemy's stance and try to plan ahead before they enter specific stance. That's because there are a few things that you need to watch out for. Firstly, in the Kraken Stance, which is right here at the start, they will regen about 17,000 brave every single turn, and this leads to 17,000 lasers every turn, which still hurts despite your HP damage reduction. And without the BT mode and the Gladio base call, you will take significant amounts of damage and you will likely not survive the onslaught. So going into BT mode and getting the BT aura up early on helps a lot in mitigating the damage. In the remainder of the Kraken Stance, if you do need to heal, you can always use Shine Edge to top up your health, but as long as you have like 70 to 80% health, you should be able to survive the onslaught of lasers on this phase. I am coming up to the Malboro phase, or Malboro Stance, which is right here. At 79%, the bosses also get 3 consecutive turns. Now, I did get a little bit lucky here in that the first 2 Bad Breath attacks didn't actually inflict blind on me. The debuff from Bad Breath only has a 80% chance to be inflicted, so I got quite lucky here. But that being said, even if you get inflicted with blind, it doesn't mean it's a run ender, because that's where the Celes's next turn come up. So on Celes's first turn inside the Malboro Stance, what I have is first use the Gladio LD Call. In case you're not aware, the LD Call not only mitigates all damage, it also gives you debuff immunity. Now at this point, if you are debuffed by blind, all you have to do is use 1 Shine Edge, because using Shine Edge will grant 2 generic buffs and it will push off the blind debuff from Celes, and then you're actually good to go. But because I'm not inflicted with blind here, what I do instead is use her LD just for the damage. At this point, you want to try to make full use of the Gladio LD Call, and what you want to try to do is to bring the bosses to 49% health as quickly as possible so that you can re-trigger the Kraken Stance. The Kraken Stance is the most dangerous stance on this fight, and you need to somehow bypass it from 49% to 29%. It sounds quite challenging to bring them down all the way to 29% when you only have 2 turns of Gladio LD Core remaining, but it isn't actually that much difficult. For one thing, the bosses will get 3 consecutive turns each, and they will suffer major damage from Celes's Trap, and this helps you to whittle down their HP. For another thing, at this point, you will hit 999% force gauge bonus, which means that during each of Celes's turn, you'll be able to do major damage. You should capitalize on damage here by using her hardest hitting attacks, which are either her LD or her EX. Also, notice that at this point, my BT Aura has expired. I did debate using the BT Aura here, and if you did use BT Aura here, it might even be possible to kill off the bosses in 1 force time, but I decided to go the more cautious approach and instead save my BT Plus for the second force time that will come after summon mode. If you use BT Plus here, you will burn through the entire aura when you pop summon. So you can see here very nicely, I managed to bring them all the way past the Kraken stance, which is from 49% to 29%, right as Gladiolus's LD Call Aura wears off. So at this point, for the rest of the fight, I no longer have to worry about lasers any longer. They only use it, I should say they only regen Brave during the Kraken stance, and so they should not use laser anymore for the rest of the fight. Now at this point though, because I have lost the protection from Gladiolus's LD Call, I do get debuffed by blind, but it doesn't really matter here because I'm at 1 turn of force time, so I pop Brother Summon, and like I said earlier, just by using Shine Edge, you should be able to dispel the blind debuff on Celes. It actually got me into thinking here that as you can see, they got pretty low in health during the summon mode, so I was actually half deliberating that it may be possible to kill them off before summon mode ends if I was a little bit more aggressive early on in the fight. But in any case, at this point, as long as you're below 19% health, the remainder of the fight is pretty easy because the Ultima Weapon stance is the most the easiest stance in a Celes Solo run. And they will no longer access the Kraken or the Malboro Stance any longer for the rest of the fight. At this point, they do enter force time and have to eat a force attack, but as you can see, you do have several consecutive turns in a row, so you can just rely on Celes's HP regen to gradually top up her health to full. So here I'm also preparing to go into force time, and with the last few consecutive turns, you want to go BT plus into force time. Remember though to refresh runic buff on Celes before you enter force time so that you don't have to burn a turn using runic later on. But in any case, you have 10 turns of force time, so you should be very comfortable here. Now during the enemy's force time, they actually can't die. The force time effect for the bosses is that their HP cannot go below 1. So unfortunately here, the only thing that you can do is wait until they come out of force time. But because they do get consecutive turns at 19%, essentially the next block of attacks, they will eat through 6 turns altogether. So it doesn't actually take that long for them to come out of force time. And like I said, at this point they are in the Ultima Weapon stance, and this stance is actually pretty easy to manage with Celes BT aura up. So right after this, they should come out of force time, and they will be at 1 HP, so a simple AoE attack from Celes LD will finish them off. So that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been entertaining and helpful. And if you enjoy the content, do leave a like, comment, or subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!